Look at the person across from you, your colleague, the stranger on the train, the date sitting across the table. What are they really thinking? The words they speak are a conscious choice, a performance. But the body, the unconscious mind, it leaks the truth. It cannot lie. Welcome to Mind Maze. Today we venture into the silent language of human behavior. We are not here to judge. We are here to investigate, to observe the patterns most never see, to reveal 6 dark psychology tricks, clinical in their precision, that will allow you to read anyone. This is not about magic. It is about predictive coding. The brain, your brain, is the most advanced pattern recognition software in existence. You simply need to know where to look. These techniques are drawn from neurolinguistics, micro-expression analysis, and behavioral psychology. Use this knowledge with caution. Once you see the signals, you cannot unsee them. Let us begin. First, the baseline deviation, their personal lie detector. Before you diagnose deception, you must diagnose normalcy. Every person has a neurological and physical baseline, their unique fingerprint of behavior when they feel safe and unobserved. The dark art here is to clandestinely establish this baseline before the real conversation even begins. Ask a few benign, verifiable questions. How was your commute? Is it warm in here? Observe their posture, their hand resting state, their typical blink rate, their speech cadence. Archive this data. Now, when you ask the real question, the one that matters, you are no longer looking for generic lying signs. You are watching for a deviation from their specific normal. A sudden stillness in a fidgeter, a slow blink rate and a rapid blinker. This shift is the subconscious brain hitting the panic button, diverting energy to construct a fiction. It's not a sign of guilt. It's a sign of cognitive load focused on something other than the truth. Number 2, the pupillary telegraph, the ultimate betrayal. Forget the eyes being the window to the soul. The pupils are the door to the hidden basement. This is pure, unadulterated limbic system broadcast. Under constant light, pupil dilation is a direct feed from the autonomic nervous system. It signals intense interest, cognitive strain, or fear. The dark application? Create a subtle, emotionally charged stimulus and watch the reaction you never hear about. Casually drop a name, a concept, or a visual cue related to your true subject. Do their pupils widen with recognition or interest? Do they constrict with immediate aversion? A negotiator might watch a counterpart's pupils when a specific number is mentioned. An investigator might see a flash of dilation at the mention of a key detail only the guilty would know. They can control their words, their face, even their breathing, but they are utterly powerless to stop their pupils from screaming the truth. Third, the Ideomotor Echo, the body's confessional. This is where the body confesses what the mouth denies. An ideomotor response is a tiny, involuntary muscle movement triggered by a thought or emotion. It happens in the milliseconds before the conscious mind can stop it. The trick is to frame your question, then immediately shift your full attention away from their words and onto a specific body part. Ask about commitment and watch the feet. Do they subtly pivot toward the door? Mention trust and see if the hands make a micro-movement to cover the torso or throat. In a high-stakes discussion about loyalty, place a glass of water near them. After your question, do their fingers make an almost imperceptible move toward the glass? A desire to create a barrier to take a sip to buy time? That echo is the raw, unfiltered data of their initial emotional response. The story they tell after is just the edited transcript. Fourth is the linguistic mirror, the architecture of deceit. When people fabricate, they don't just invent details. They unconsciously alter the very architecture of their language. This is the forensic analysis of speech. First, listen for distancing language. A sudden shift from "I didn't take the file" to "the file wasn't taken" or "that file." The subconscious is trying to syntactically separate the speaker from the act. Second, monitor for a collapse of spontaneous elaboration. Truthful recall is messy, full of irrelevant sensory details like "it was raining" and "my shoes squeaked." A fabricated story is often lean, logical, and unnaturally streamlined. It contains only what's necessary to sell the lie. Finally, and most darkly, watch for pronoun manipulation. An increase in we, they, or one when discussing a personal action can signal an attempt to diffuse responsibility linguistically. Their sentence structure is the crime scene. Their word choice is the fingerprint. Number 5, the congruence audit, when the mask slips. Genuine emotion is a full system event, neurologically synchronized. Fabricated emotion is a patchwork job, and the seams always show. A congruence audit is a systematic scan for these seams. You are cross-referencing channels. If someone says, "I'm so excited for this opportunity," with a wide smile but their shoulders are slumped and their chest is concave, the contradiction is the truth. The body's collapse betrays the face's performance. Pay particular attention to the delay and offset. Does the smile appear a half second after the joyful words? Does the angry expression linger a moment too long after the conflict is resolved? These are the hallmarks of emotional boot-up and shutdown sequences, the sign of an actor, not a reactor. In dark persuasion, identifying this incongruence is your point of maximum leverage. It tells you precisely where their stated position is weak, where the facade is thinnest, and where a subtle push can create a crack. And finally, number 6, the strategic pause, manufacturing leakage. This is the only active trick on the list, a deliberate, weaponized silence. After a statement, especially one you suspect, do not nod, do not affirm, do not move on. You simply stop, hold a neutral, expectant gaze. You have just created a social and emotional vacuum. Nature and human nature abhors a vacuum. The pressure to fill that silence becomes immense. In their mind, the silence translates to, "I am not believed. My story was insufficient." What happens next is pure leakage. They will often elaborate with unnecessary details that weren't in the original script details you can later fact-check. They might qualify, verbally stepping back to reinforce a weak point. Or they may project, asking, "Do you believe me?" handing you the power. The strategic pause doesn't just reveal information. It psychologically compels the other person to volunteer it, believing it was their own idea to clarify. These 6 points are your observational toolkit. Baseline Deviation, the Pupillary Telegraph, the Ideomotor Echo, the Linguistic Mirror, the Congruence Audit, the Strategic Pause. Practice them not as a party trick, but as a study. You are decoding the operating system of human interaction. Remember, with this knowledge comes a dark responsibility. To use it for manipulation is to enter a dangerous labyrinth. To use it for understanding is to hold the map of it. But there is one trick we did not discuss today. a forbidden technique, one so potent, so deeply invasive it doesn't just read the current thought. It can implant a suggestion directly into the silent space between another person's thoughts. It is the cornerstone of covert influence. Some call it the ultimate dark psychology trick. We will not name it here. To speak of it lightly is to underestimate its power. If you wish to venture into that deepest part of the maze, to learn how to silently place an idea in someone else's mind and make them believe it was their own all along, subscribe. Hit the notification bell. The next video will be waiting for you. But consider this your final warning. Some doors once opened cannot be closed.